8, 2022. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Ready? Begin. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Roll call of members, please.
Yes. Commissioner Abrego,
Here.
Commissioner Batista,
Present.
Commissioner Esparza,
Here.
Vice Chair Gutierrez,
Present.
Chair Weisenberger.
Here. Okay, item number 1, approval of minutes. Okay, we need a motion to approve minutes from December 16, 2021.
This is Commissioner Gutierrez. I'll go ahead and motion to approve the minutes.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Abrego,
Yes.
Commissioner Batista,
Yes.
Commissioner Esparza,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez,
Yes.
Chair Weisenberger.
Yes. Okay, to the old business, item number 2. We have an amendment to conditional use permit number 699, a request by Michael Hoffman, 7-Eleven Incorporated, for an amendment to a conditional use permit for an existing condition of approval that requires beer or malt beverages to be sold in quantities of 6 or more to be modified to allow the sale of packages of 3 or more at 15105 Lakewood Boulevard, Unit A, in the C3 General Commercial Zone. Okay, report, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair, thank you. This item is a request by 7-Eleven to amend their conditional use permit to allow for the sale of beer and malt beverages in packages of 3. This is for the 7-Eleven at the corner of Somerset Boulevard and Lakewood Boulevard. And our planning intern, Jessica Guillen, will give you the details.
Good afternoon. I will be presenting amendment to conditional use permit number 699. The applicant is Michael Kaufman and 7-Eleven. The applicant is requesting to modify a condition of approval to allow the sale of beer or malt beverages in quantities of 3 rather than the mandated 6-pack minimum, as the condition is currently written in conditional use permit number 699. The subject suite address is 15105 Lakewood Boulevard, Unit A, in the C3 General Commercial Zone. It is located on the southwest corner of Lakewood Boulevard and Somerset Boulevard. A laundromat occupies Unit B in the same building, and the store operates 24 hours daily with alcoholic beverages sales hours from 6 a.m. to 2 a.m. Here is an aerial view of the location. We have Lakewood Boulevard running north and south, and Paramount Boulevard running east and west. The blue boundary is the 22,054 square foot lot in which the subject suite is located. The subject suite is the rectangle shaded orange. And here is a picture of the 7-Eleven, which was taken on December 6, 2021. Sorry about that. On May 10th, 2011, the Paramount Planning Commission approved conditional use permit number 699 for 7-Eleven to sell beer and wine for off-site consumption. The approval included a condition that beer or malt beverages may not be sold in less than 6-pack quantities. There are currently 3 7-Elevens in the city of Paramount, one on Alondra Boulevard, the second on Paramount Boulevard, and lastly one on Lakewood Boulevard. This table is a comparison of conditions regarding quantity of alcoholic sales for the city's 3 7-Elevens. The 7-Eleven on Alondra Boulevard has no condition restricting quantity of alcoholic sales. The 7-Eleven on Paramount Boulevard has a condition which prohibits the sales of beer, malt, or wine in quantities of quarts, 40 ounces, or similar size containers, and package quantities of less than 3. Lastly, the 7-Eleven we are speaking on tonight has a condition which prohibits the sales of beer or malt beverages in quantities of quarts, 22 ounces, 32 ounces, 40 ounces, or similar size containers, and no beer or malt beverages shall be sold in quantities of less than 6 per sale. This table was provided to give a better overview of the conditions for the city 7-Elevens. Possible justification for approving the applicant's request is to provide customers more options for their alcoholic beverage purchases. The applicant cites the safeguards of other conditions of approval, including prohibitions of loitering. No loitering signs are posted. Parking lot has lighting. Management communicates with law enforcement. Outside premises are maintained, and security cameras surround the premises. Although this 7-Eleven location has been a neighborhood serving convenience market for 10 years, modification to allow the sale of beer or malt beverages in quantities of 3 or more does bring concern. The majority of the concern stems from the physical location of the convenience store. Historically, public safety has been a challenge for the city of Paramount on border corridors like Lakewood Boulevard. In your folders, you will find a memo summarizing law enforcement activity from January 1st, 2021 to December 1st, 2021, compiled by the Public Safety Director. Their review shows a high volume of calls for law enforcement within the area of the subject property. Furthermore, the 2 motels less than a half-mile away from the subject property cause concern and can be negatively impacted by further availability of alcohol. Both motels are located in the city of Bellflower and both a walkable distance to subject site. The Public Safety Department and the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Department are in consensus that the condition to sell in quantities of 6 or more shall remain as is. It is recommended that the Planning Commission read by title only, waive further reading, and approve or deny the amendment of Conditional Use Permit number 699. If the Planning Commission approves the amendment of Conditional Use Permit number 699, it is recommended that the Planning Commission review and ratify conditions of approval at the March 8th, 2022 Planning Commission meeting.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we'll open public comments. John, do we have any testimony tonight?
Yes, we do. The applicant, Jessica? The applicant wants to talk? Okay, who's calling?
Yes, sorry.
Thank you. Just give me one moment while I get the representative for the applicant on the line.
Good evening, this is Bruce Evans.
Hey, good evening, Mr. Evans. This is John King. I'm here. I'm with the planning department staff, and we're here with the Planning Commission. And we understand you would like to provide comment, so you could do so now. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you. Please let me know if for some reason you cannot hear me okay. Good evening, my name is Bruce Evans. I represent both 7-Eleven and the individual franchisee, the Shaw Gore. In this case, I would start by thanking Jessica. She's been very professional throughout this process and a pleasure to deal with. I will tell you we're at a little bit of a disadvantage tonight because we did not receive the staff report until today, and we only received the calls for service records about 2.5 hours before the hearing. So apparently the mail is slow, but I didn't get electronic copies until today. I think there's some misunderstanding in the staff report, and it's essentially premised on that there's a reduction in the quantity of alcohol and that could give rise to law enforcement concerns and safety at the site. It's the same amount of alcohol. We're asking to sell 3 packs, which typically come in 24-ounce cans, and the store already sells 6 packs, which come in 12-ounce cans. So the volume is essentially identical. It's just a different packaging. It allows the store to sell more variety. We're not trying to push cheap alcohol. In Paramount, we're not trying to push single sales. It's just an alternative that allows for more variety in the store compared to if they can only sell 6 packs. We provided photographs to staff as part of our application, which included 3 packs of Modelo or Budweiser, all the same products that they're selling now, but in this case, in a different format. So that's basically it. I will tell you briefly, and I would like you to hear from Vishal directly. I did speak to him earlier about the police calls, and we would explain that as he's very diligent. If there's a homeless person on site or any issue, he has a very supportive sheriff's department. He calls the police. He takes action immediately. They come out. They're very helpful. He appreciates it, but it generates calls because he's taking proactive action. So we haven't heard any safety concerns individually expressed about this store or the job we're doing there. Vishal is there 7 days a week. He does a very good job. He tries very hard, and this is simply a way for him to offer more variety and better serve his customers. Again, we're not trying to push alcohol. It's just a different packaging, same amount of alcohol, same price point, very little difference from what's in place now. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We have two other people that would like to also be called, so we'll do that.
Great. This is in favor?
Yes.
Yes, we have two more in favor. Mr. Evans was the representative for the applicant. The next call will be Vishal Gore, who is the franchisee, the actual applicant. So, again, give me one moment.
Hello, this is Vishal.
Oh, hello, Vishal, Mr. Gore. This is John King. I'm with the planning department of Paramount, and we're here during the planning commission with the planning commissioners.
Yes.
And we understand you're here to provide comment. You can do so. You have 3 minutes to do so, starting now.
Hello, can you hear me? This is Vishal Gore. I own the store that we're talking about. I've had a lot of customers ask me to have 3-packs available, and I know I have limits on my license. So I think after owning the store for 10 years, I think it was time to actually ask the city if I could bring in 3-packs to have more convenience to my customers. So, yeah, that's basically it.
Thank you for your comment.
Mhm.
Okay, Mr. Chair, one more person to call?
Okay, thank you.
In favor.
Okay.
And the next is Francisco Gonzalez. He is a 7-Eleven field consultant. So give me one moment.
Hello, this is Francisco speaking.
Hello, Francisco, Mr. Gonzalez. My name is John King. I'm with the Paramount Planning Department, and I'm here with the Planning Commission. And we're here. We understand that you have some comments. So you have 3 minutes to do so, starting now.
Okay, great. Thank you all for taking the time to work with us. Fortunately, I've had the opportunity to work with Vishal hand in hand for the past, actually a little over 5 years. And being able to partner with him and understand that he does his best to serve his customers in store every day through the pandemic, 7 days a week is just incredible. And you've given us opportunity to better serve the customers that he has coming in the store day in, day out. Would definitely help him maintain his business, right? A lot of customers, even when I'm in the store, you know, they do ask if we're able to currently sell 3-packs because, you know, there are a few more stores in Paramount that currently are able to. And, you know, we express, you know, hey, just, you know, we're doing our best, you know, to work with the city because, you know, we do want to be their one-stop shop. We want to be their one-stop shop. We want to continue to provide them excellent customer service. Additionally, and I don't know if you all knew this, but corporately speaking, 7-Eleven, we do our own secret shoppers to ensure that each store owner, operator is doing the best that they can to ensure that they are following the rules and directives that they need to do to be able to maintain the product based on, the laws given to us by the state. So with that being said, Vishal, he's a small business owner that's been in the community for, close to a decade. This will definitely help him be able to better serve his existing customers that he has. A person who employs folks in your city, right? I think most of all of his employees live in Paramount, right? And it's definitely, I think, a win-win for Vishal and his employees, and also a win for our customers. So we definitely thank you for your time and your consideration this evening. Thank you.
Thank you.
That's it in favor.
Do we have any opposed?
Nobody opposed.
Okay, then we need a motion to close the public hearing.
Commissioner. I'll second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Abrego,
Yes.
Commissioner Batista,
Yes.
Commissioner Esparza,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez,
Yes.
Chair Weisenberger.
Yes. Okay, so now we need a motion to approve or deny this request, that the current law be modified to allow the sale of packages of 3 or more at this 7-Eleven location. Approve or deny?
This is Commissioner Gutierrez. I'd like to make a recommendation to set up a revisional approval for a period of time for 6 months, just because I do know that there are hotels and motels there in the area. Is that possible that we could throw that into the conditional use? In case there are any complaints or any activity, we can revisit this in 6 months?
Yes, we could.
I would like to propose to approve it with that condition added to the conditional use permit.
Sure.
You're gonna go for 6 months?
6 months? I think we did that similar in another case.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we did.
And
Commissioner Abrego, second.
the reports that we are getting for a whole year, it's
We should make it a smaller amount?
I would make
amount
it
of time?
3 months? That's fine.
3 months.
Yeah.
And see how many calls they
Calls
get in.
we get, yeah.
I would
Revisit
go
it,
with
just
that
get
because
the
of
report
what-
from the sheriff.
Do you think it's going to be better, where there's going to be less alcoholics? I mean, really,
Yeah, 'cause
why are we making a condition? I mean,
Well, there was something written, didn't it say that we have to review this again next month, or the 28th of March, I believe? Is that what it said?
No. If you approved it tonight, we would bring back a resolution reflecting that you approved it
Oh, I see, okay.
next month.
Okay, so it wasn't to check up and see how it was going
No.
after
No.
a month?
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Because they're not selling single quantities, which is good, but just in case there's any complaints or anything. So it looks like there shouldn't be.
They say it's the same quantity. So
yeah, they say the
why-
volume is the same.
Volume.
Volume
Yeah,
is
just
the same.
3 cans
Why is the
versus
reason
6
behind
bottles
this?
or 6 cans.
And I'm concerned because of the reports that we got.
There is a lot of reports, yeah.
I mean, the reports you see, I mean, I wouldn't like to be put in the back room of the 7-Eleven like they've done it before. I mean, the reports that are here.
Mr. Chair, there was a motion and a second for the 6-month approval,
Okay,
and then review it in 6. It was
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez and Commissioner Abrego seconded.
okay, so.
All right.
So that means we can't discuss it?
Yes, you can.
Yeah.
There's a motion and a second, but once the second is, there can be some discussion on it, but you just have to vote on it,
Okay,
Okay.
okay.
So any one of you can say, okay, I have issues or whatever it is, and then there's going to be a vote.
So.
And it
the
could
fa-
be a vote to deny the motion, or someone can make a motion, a substitute motion, in which case the person who made the motion, Commissioner Gutierrez, can say, okay, I revise my motion.
Okay.
So you can keep this discussion going right now. What Mr. Carver's basically saying is that once there's a motion, a second on the floor, you have to act on it.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. And would you like to substitute the 6 months for 3 months?
Yeah, that's fine. I'll go ahead and revise my motion to shorten the time span to 3 months.
Okay. Do we need to second that too?
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
We have a second on that?
Commissioner Abrego, second on that one.
Okay.
Is there discussion?
Is there any more discussion on this? Okay, let's do roll call then.
Okay.
Commissioner Bautista, you look like you want to say something.
I mean, there is a lot of reports on this location, but I'm just saying, like, I mean, I feel like they're already, whether it's 3 alcoholic beverages or 6, it's still going to be the same, so it really doesn't matter.
Amount, yeah.
I guess, is it okay to ask a question regarding the call-outs? Because I was reading them, it didn't seem like there was anything regarding cans of alcohol or bottles. It had to been like a disturbance, either homeless or a fight or some guy doing circles with a frying pan or something, right? So
That's the problem.
if they sell the same quantity cans of alcohol and beer, someone wants to just get them in 3 cans versus 6 bottles or something. I mean, I don't know.
It's fine.
I don't see it a problem.
The way they're hanging around at that 7-Eleven. Honestly, let's face it, the report's there for 1 whole year.
Yeah.
I don't think
Well, I think the reason the original provision is there just because smaller quantities kind of intend to bring a crowd that's going to hang out in the parking lot and stuff like that. So I think that's the reason why it was written. But I kind of agree with both. Kind of, so there's no right or wrong. I think it's kind of in between.
Wait, so do you think that if they do the 3, they're going to be hanging out right there at the parking lot?
No, I just mean it gives them to see if there's any more reports, or if there's increased activity, like if there's any complaints or anybody that might want to be in opposition. It doesn't look like there'll be a problem because it's on a commercial street, so it's not like on a
It is
residential.
commercial.
Yeah, so it's, no, I mean, saying it's on a commercial street. It's a very busy street. It's not like near residential, so I don't think you'll get very many residents complaining. But
Well, let's just leave the revision. I think it's a good idea, just to leave it. And
You know, and I think maybe to be fair, we don't have any police reports on the number of times that they've been called to the other 2 7-Elevens either. You know,
Correct.
So, I mean, I don't know if that plays into it. We're not concerned with those other 2, but there's one of the 7-Elevens that doesn't have any restrictions at all. They can sell any size they want. That's the one on Laundry over there by Townsend.
the only reason I mentioned mentioned the provision is just because there's hotels there across. That's the only reason I'm thinking. The other one doesn't really have anything where people can gather and stuff like that. So there's a couple motels, I should say. So
okay.
usually brings more sketchy
I
crowd.
to me, I don't know the difference between 3 and 6. What is the actual difference?
Well, the 6-pack are 12-ounce cans,
Right.
6 of those, and the 3-pack that they want to sell is 3 of
24.
the 24.
Right.
The
So
same
that's,
amount.
Quantity, right?
Yeah, 3
Yeah.
times 24 is the same as 6 times 12.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, it's the same amount.
So
The
they
price
can-
is
they
different,
wanna
I'm
come
sure.
back and-
Yeah.
And get more threes?
Yeah.
That's what they're,
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't
mean,
know.
people just tend to. I think
The
the
way I
reason they
look at
limit
it.
it is because people tend to
I don't
hang out
care.
with the bigger can.
The big ones.
Yeah. So.
the way I see it.
All right.
Okay, well, we have a motion and it's seconded, so let's have a roll call.
Okay. Commissioner Abrego,
Yes.
Commissioner Batista,
Yes.
Commissioner Esparza, Vice Chair Gutierrez,
Yes.
Chair Weisenberg.
Yes. Okay, item number 3. This is General Plan Amendment number 21-2. This is a resolution of the Planning Commission recommending that the City Council amend the general plan to add the 2021 through 2029, this is the 6th cycle, housing element, superseding and replacing the existing housing element, update the health and safety element, and add the environmental justice element. Report, please. Staff report.
Yes, Mr. Chair and Commissioners, we are presenting to you this evening the housing element update, the health and safety element update, and the brand new environmental justice element. We have been working on this for over a year and are excited to review the document with you this evening. And Assistant Planning Director John King will go through the presentation.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Commission Chair Weisenberger and Commissioners. Yes, we've been working on this for quite some time, and I know a lot of you have had the opportunity to participate in the public outreach and give me some feedback in one way or another. And then there was a big point was the joint City Council and Planning Commission meeting in May, where we presented a preliminary framework for this work, and you gave some formal feedback, and we incorporated that into the product, and that's what we have. So we're almost a year later, and this is basically do, and this is something that all cities and counties have to do. So that's a little summary, but there is a lot more to talk about. So I'll just review the community engagement and how this fits in with the general plan. And as part of the housing element, this is our housing plan. This is what we as a city are going to do over the next 8 years. So one big thing is programs. What type of programs related to housing will be in the plan? Then we'll get into the environmental justice element, which is the brand new element of the general plan. And then the health and safety element, which is also an important part of the plan. So just to recap, what's a general plan? That's what all jurisdictions in the state do. It's a vision document. It's how we want to be in the future. Usually cities redo their general plan every 20 years, plus or minus. And it's a guide. It's a blueprint to how a city will develop. It consists of different sections called these elements, and you can see on the diagram the red in red are the elements that we're updating. So this is what we're calling a focused general plan update, rather than doing a full-blown update. So again, it's 8 years for the housing, and then environmental justice. This is a new kind of requirement. It's not for all jurisdictions. It's not for all cities and counties. It's for any city that has a census tract that has what's called what the state designates as, in quotes, disadvantaged community based on a number of indicators. And that means there's a disproportionate share of negative environmental consequences due mostly to some type of pollution, but there's other indicators dealing with education and infant mortality and asthma and health. And the element prioritizes improvements and programs to help figure out how to tackle these issues. And then the third is the health and safety element. So just what it says about safety. We have a strong public safety department. We have our building and safety division of the planning department. Those are the building inspectors and our plan check process. And that's all for safety for buildings, but more so safety for people. And then, but the state does have some other areas that we have to look at. Seismic, we're in earthquake territory, flooding, hazardous materials waste, wildfire, even though that may seem far away, remember the smoke doesn't know any boundaries, and climate adaptation. So as we're seeing very slowly but surely, the temperatures are creeping up, how our city is going to deal with more heat. So community engagement, we had a number of pop-up events and scheduled events and some Zoom meetings, and we got some great feedback, and here's some examples. Everyone wants to deal with parking, so parking's always an issue, and we actually interviewed the city council, so they had some direct outreach. So as far as the housing element, again, it's every 8 years, and it's under the State Department of Housing and Community Development. The city, we develop this. You make a recommendation to the city council. They adopt the housing element, and then we send it to the state for them to certify. And we have to do this, and it has to be certified within a number of a certain period of time. The state reviews the element reviews existing conditions and past performance. So for our past 8 years, it's a check-in. We see how many housing units were created, were there any affordable units created, and what type of programs has Paramount been doing. Lays out the future needs like any plan, and addresses how the city will meet the state requirements, setting policy and implementing programs. So it is the housing plan, and it's comprised of a needs assessment, resources and sites inventory. So you look at the city, where can you build housing? Is there any open space? Not much, as you know. And we look at constraints to housing development of different types. And again, looking at previous accomplishments toward implementing the last cycle. We call these cycles. So now we're in the 6th cycle, and there's a long process of how we get our RHNA allocation. What it says RHNA, that's Regional Housing Needs Assessment, RHNA. So the state has a big goal. How many housing units do we need? As we know, we're in a bit of a housing crisis. Then that goes down to subregions, and we're in the SCAG subregion. That's the Southern California Association of Governments, and they come up with a formula, and they end up assigning a number to each city. Paramount's is 364, and that's broken down by income category. So about half, or you can see above moderate income, that's market rate housing, and then there's other categories which are very low and low. Those are affordable housing, and then moderate income, that's workforce housing or the missing middle, the middle income housing. And there's a kind of a caveat: cities are not required to build housing. It's not a city's job to actually go out there and build it, but we have to, through zoning and through policy and regulations, have indicate where can houses be built and what types of policies to either speed it up or, as the state might think, some cities are slowing it down. And then onto the housing programs. So this is a list of the programs that most of this is carryover from the last or the current or just the just completed cycle, but we are adding a few more with changing to the needs of the urgency of new housing. So including affordable housing incentives, home buyers assistance programs, possibly some first-time home buyer funds. Although it's to make a dent, it's with the rising costs, that's quite a struggle, quite a lift there. Adequate sites and monitoring of no net loss. That means if there are some officially designated affordable units in Paramount, they're kind of sprinkled about, and in those cases, they're usually the developer by covenant they're recorded with a property that it has to be sold to a affordable a household that qualifies for affordable income. If those get demolished, no net loss means the city has to come up with a replacement. Specific plan minimum densities. So those are, we do have some areas in town where we're looking very carefully to add just a little more housing, but you have to be careful where it is. You don't want to just suddenly allow for a lot more housing. So very, very careful there. And zoning amendments. So in the end, we'll be coming back to you with some changes in the coming months or year to implement these programs. And homelessness, we have a homeless plan. Our public safety department is in charge of our homeless actions, and they really are doing a great job. So the numbers in Paramount are slightly lower than past years, although you just can't stop. It's an ongoing effort to prevent homelessness. And then we have our, since this is a very popular program, the Home Improvement Program, where we use federal funds for homeowners to fix up their houses, so windows and roofing and whatnot. So that's a very popular program. Looking for sites for special needs housing, updating our fees, and then ADUs, accessory dwelling units. So that's already on the books. And fair housing, the city council, for many, many years, they've been providing funds to a nonprofit, the Fair Housing Foundation of Long Beach, to help with landlord and tenant issues. So they're very middle of the road between landlords and tenants. They just give the facts and really help out landlords and tenants. And there's a new requirement for affirmatively furthering fair housing. Make sure that you don't want no city wants discrimination, so that's on the books, and removing any types of constraints. So we sent a draft housing element to the state in September. It took them 2 months to review, and they got back to us in November, gave us a letter, and that's in your agenda packet. And with that, we made the changes, and now we're here this evening for you to possibly adopt. And if you do, then it goes to the city council March 1st, and then we'll soon after send it off to the state. Ideally, they'll certify the adopted plan. And then the environmental justice element, and this is from the state. And they say environmental justice means the fair treatment of people of all races, cultures, and incomes with respect to the development, adoption, implementation, and enforcement of environmental laws, regulations, and policies. And with the acknowledging that some communities bear a disproportionate burden of pollution and health risks, the idea is to correct that. So, and we'll show an example in a moment of freeways. Here it is. So just by nature of being near freeways, red is bad. If it's green, then you don't have a lot of these health and environmental issues. The red areas, you'll see a lot of it. It goes along the 105 freeway, the 710 freeway, the 5 freeway. We have a lot of, just by matter of geography, trucks with diesel and particulates, and so that's just the fact that there's a disproportionate share of those impacts if you're near these 10-lane freeways, or what are they, 14-lane. On to this next map is disadvantaged community. So I mentioned that a city has to come up with an environmental justice element if there is a census tract that's considered a disadvantaged community by state definition. And actually, in Paramount, all of the census tracts, except for one, falls into that category, and that one is up at the northeast. You see Gardendale, Downey, that area. And looking at a number of different topics, greening and safety, bicycle and pedestrian safety, and parks. This is a map that kind of puts it all together, where there's a need for these different types of programs and attention. Third is the safety element, health and safety. So the state does have some areas requiring cities to look at climate adaptation. Different parts of the state have different issues. We have a little bit to do with wildfire just by virtue of how the smoke travels. Some cities have impacts if they're on the ocean to sea level rise. But just about all cities have to deal with the rising heat. It hasn't gone up about one degree over the last 10 years or so. So resiliency, we have to do a climate vulnerability assessment, and this accompanies a climate vulnerability assessment that we did last year through the city's climate action plan that the city council adopted last year. And so they really do tie together. And we evaluate infrastructure and services, things like cooling centers, emergency shelters for at-risk populations. And we come up with some guidelines, and this all ties into the local hazard mitigation plan. Let me refer back to the climate action plan. That's spearheaded by the city's public works department. The planning department has a large role in the climate action plan, but that is headed by the public works department. Local hazard mitigation plan, that's headed up by the public safety department. And these are have some joint issues. We have interdepartmental working groups that develop these plans. This deals with green infrastructure and greenhouse gas reduction. You may have heard a lot more about organic waste and the new state requirements that have kicked in starting January 1st. So that's all part of this that we have to look at. There's that climate action plan. So the city council adopted it unanimously last summer, and they look to have an annual review to monitor progress. So that's the end of the presentation. The recommendation is to adopt the resolution recommending that the council amend the general plan to add the sixth cycle housing element, superseding and replacing the existing housing element. Second, to update the health and safety element. And third, to add the environmental justice element. And I'm happy to answer any questions.
Questions? Okay, John, do we have any testimony tonight?
Nothing in favor and nothing opposed.
Okay, then we need a motion to close the public hearing portion.
Esparza will make a motion to close.
I second.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Abrego,
Yes.
Commissioner Batista,
Yes.
Commissioner Esparza,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez,
Yes.
Chair Weisenberger.
Yes. Okay, now we need a motion then to adopt Planning Commission Resolution 21019 to approve this request.
Commissioner Abrego, I make a motion, we adopt the Planning Commission Resolution number PC 21019.
Commissioner
Esparza.
Gutierrez. Oh, go ahead. Commissioner Gutierrez, I'll second it.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Abrego,
Yes.
Commissioner Batista,
Yes.
Commissioner Esparza,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez,
Yes.
Chair Weisenberger.
Yes. Okay, we move to our new business tonight. Item number 4, conditional use permit number 913. This is a request by Juana Sorrentos and Anthony Castro with Zumba Town to operate a dance fitness studio at 15920 Downey Avenue, Unit A4, in the planned development with performance standards zone. Staff report, please.
Yes, Mr. Chair, this item is a request to approve a dance fitness studio at 15920 Downey Avenue. This is south of Alondra Boulevard. And Cassandra Cornejo, our planning intern, will give you more detail.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Chair Weisenberger and Commissioners. So as John mentioned, I will be presenting conditional use permit number 913 to you all tonight, and the applicant, as mentioned, is Zumba Town. So the applicant is requesting to operate a dance fitness studio that would be located at 15920 Downey Avenue, Unit A4. This address is for a suite in a commercial plaza known as Paramount Park Plaza, which is the commercial plaza off Alondra Boulevard that has the Stater Brothers. The property is within a PDPS, planned development with performance standard zone, which allows commercial establishments and offices. The parcel housing the proposed suite measures 24,724 square feet, and the multi-tenant commercial building itself measures 6,000 square feet and is divided into 5 suites, which are all 1,200 square foot spaces. The previous tenant of Suite A4 was All Stars Barbershop. So looking at the site plan, you will see the entire Paramount Park Plaza. The blue box outlines the parcel this tenant's space is on, and the light blue and hatched area is the tenant suite proposed for Zumba Town. All of the green areas are landscaping. Circling back to the business proposal, classes will be instructed by either of the owners, and there will be no other employees. There will be classes daily. However, the hours are limited between a morning block of classes between 8 a.m. to 12 p.m. and an evening block of classes between 5 p.m. and 9 p.m. These classes will not involve any fitness equipment nor machines, and there will be no fitness activity between the blocks of classes. Here is an aerial view of the subject site. Once again, you can see the entire Paramount Park Plaza, located at the southeast corner of Downey Avenue and Alondra Boulevard, and the specific parcel housing this proposed suite is outlined in green, with the suite shaded over with blue. To the right of this slide is a floor plan showing the minor proposed tenant improvements. The space will include a main area for classes, a back room, and a restroom, all of which will be made to meet ADA standards. To the left is a picture of the suite in question, where you can still see the signage of the previous tenant, whose removal and replacement with new signage is a condition of approval. Other building and site refurbishments will likewise be taken care of as needed as per the conditions of approval for this application, which the applicant has been informed of and has agreed to following. In fact, the applicant has already begun to work on these conditions of approval. They have power washed the walkways, removed existing signage, repainted the existing bike rack, and painted over existing graffiti, all showing their willingness to cooperate with the city. To address any concerns about noise that a dance fitness studio may raise, there are conditions of approval aimed at limiting noises audible from outside of the business, 2 of which are on the slide now and in the staff report and resolution for this project. The site is only directly adjacent to commercial and industrial uses, with the closest residential development located across Downey Avenue, which has 5 lanes of traffic and other barriers, so the proposed business should not be a noise concern for the residents that are living there. This proposed use is consistent with the surrounding commercial uses in Paramount Park Plaza and is proposed for a site that is adequate in size and location for it. We find that with the conditions of approval, the site will be improved by the applicant, and the community may also benefit from a new fitness option. With all of this in mind, the Planning Department recommends approval of conditional use permit number 913, and I am open to any questions that you may have. Thank you.
Questions?
Not for me.
Okay, let's open the public hearing portion. We have any testimony tonight?
No, nobody in favor, nobody opposed.
Okay, they need a motion to close the public hearing portion.
Commissioner Abrego, I make a motion to close the public hearing.
I second.
Barzo, second.
Okay, roll call.
Commissioner Abrego,
Yes.
Commissioner Batista,
Yes.
Commissioner Esparza,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez,
Yes.
Chair Weisenberger.
Yes. Okay, so then we need a motion to adopt Planning Commission Resolution number 22001, approving this request.
I approve this request.
Commissioner Gutierrez, I'll second that.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Abrego,
Yes.
Commissioner Batista,
Yes.
Commissioner Esparza,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez,
Yes.
Chair Weisenberger.
Yes.
Like
Okay,
enthusiasm.
item number 5. Item number 5. Excuse me. Extension to conditional use permit number 445. This is a request by Athens Services for CalMet Services for a 3-year extension for an amendment to conditional use permit number 445, reducing the maximum permitted tonnage of solid waste processed at an existing materials recovery facility, the Paramount Resource Recycling, from 1,500 to 570 tons per day at 7230 Peterson Lane in the M2 heavy manufacturing zone. Okay, staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. I guess I'll note that Commissioner Abrego has recused himself on the next 2 items for potential conflict of interest. And I'll be doing the presentations on these 2 items. So, Ivan, can you hit the light? Thank you. Okay, so this item is a request for a 3-year extension for amended conditional use permit number 455 for the Paramount Resource Recycling Facility located at 7230 Pedersen Lane. The site is located in the heavy manufacturing zone. The amendment reduces the daily tonnage that Paramount Resource Recycling can process from 1,500 tons per day to 570 tons per day. CalMet Services is transitioning to new ownership under Athens Services. This item is associated with conditional use permit number 721 and development review application 15011 to be heard later this evening. Here's a look at the facility. It's on the south side of Pedersen, outlined in red, labeled as Paramount Resource Recycling. Garfield Avenue is to the right and runs north and south. So conditional use permit number 445 was approved in 1998. It allowed the facility to increase the tonnage processed from 1,200 tons per day to 1,500 tons per day. The amendment reduces the tonnage to 570 tons per day and restricts the waste processed to construction debris, green waste, and self-haul waste. The remaining operations of the facility will move across the street to the Royal Recycling and Transfer Facility, and you'll be hearing that request for an extension next. The operations across the street will include receiving, processing, and transferring of recyclables and municipal solid waste. When the Royal Recycling Facility opens, there will not be a need to process 1,500 tons per day at the Pedersen facility. The reduction to 570 tons per day at the Paramount Resource Recycling Facility to process construction debris, green waste, and self-haul waste will be more than sufficient. Here's a look at the facility. Pedersen is at the top, running east and west, and you can see down toward the bottom the buildings. And it's recommended the Planning Commission adopt resolution number PC 22002, approving a 3-year extension of amended conditional use permit number 445, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Okay. Let's open the public hearing portion. Do we have any testimony tonight, John?
Nobody in favor or opposed?
Okay, in that case, we need a motion to close the public hearing portion.
Garza will make a motion to close the public hearing.
Commissioner Gutierrez, I'll second it.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Batista?
Yes.
Commissioner Esparza?
Yes?
Vice Chair Gutierrez?
Yes.
Chair Weisenberger?
Yes. Okay, in that case, we need a motion to adopt Planning Commission Resolution number 22002, approving this request by Athens Services for CalMet Services. Have a motion to approve?
I'll approve it.
I'll second that motion.
Okay, roll call, please.
Commissioner Batista?
Yes.
Commissioner Esparza?
Yes?
Vice Chair Gutierrez?
Yes.
Chair Weisenberger?
Yes.
Mr. Chair, just for the record, who made the motion?
Mr. Batista.
Where's Bautista? Oh.
Oh.
Faint, little on the faint side. Okay, item number 6. This is an extension to conditional use permit number 721. Again, a request by Athens Services for CalMet Services for a 3-year extension to conditional use permit number 721 for the expansion and modernization of a materials recovery facility, Royal Recycling and Transfer, with a maximum processing capacity of 2,450 tons per day at 14001 Garfield Avenue in the M2 Heavy Manufacturing Zone. Staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. I'll also be going through this report with you. So this is our request by Athens Services for a 3-year extension of conditional use permit number 721. This project involves the expansion and modernization of a materials recovery facility with a maximum processing capacity of 2,450 tons per day. The site is located at 14001 Garfield Avenue in the heavy manufacturing zone. The facility would receive, process, and transfer source-separated recyclables, residential curbside recyclables, and municipal solid waste. With new ownership, additional time is requested. The Royal Recycling and Transfer Facility site contains 7.32 acres and 146,600 square feet of building floor area. The project includes the construction of a 39,500 square foot metal building and rehabilitation of the existing structures. The western half of Pedersen Lane was vacated in 2017, and as CalMet owns property on both sides of Pedersen Lane, the street will be incorporated into the RRT facility, and I'll show you a site plan in a couple of slides that indicates how that works. The RRT site is surrounded by the Los Angeles Department of Water and Power right-of-way to the north, Pedersen Lane to the south, the Southern California Edison easement to the west, and Garfield to the east. Uses surrounding the site include single-family residential to the north, a mobile home park to the west, across the other side of the SCE easement, and industrial to the south and east. And here's a look at the facility outlined in red on the north side of Pedersen and west of Garfield Avenue. And here are some pictures of the site. Sorry, give me just a minute. Ivan, can you go? Okay, there we go. Okay, pictures and some more pictures. Okay, so Calumet purchased the site from Royal Truck Body in 2011 and is proposing a maximum capacity of 2,450 tons per day. The applicant anticipates that they will only operate at 50% of the maximum. The RRT facility will be a state-of-the-art recycling facility with all operations taking place indoors. The Planning Commission considered a 3-year extension to amended conditional use permit number 445, that was the previous item, that limits the tons per day to 570 across the street and restricts the types of waste that can be processed. When functional, the facility would receive materials from 2 a.m. to 10 p.m., 7 days a week. Recyclable materials would be transferred out 24 hours per day, 7 days a week. The primary function of the facility would be to receive, process, and transfer source-separated recyclables and municipal solid waste. No hazardous materials, liquid waste, or quarantined food would be processed at the facility. Southbound trucks would enter the site from Garfield Avenue using a new 3rd traffic lane. Northbound trucks would enter the site from the existing dedicated left turn lane at Garfield Avenue and Pedersen. The eastern half of Pedersen Lane would be widened to accommodate 3 inbound traffic lanes and 1 outbound lane. Once on site, loads would be weighed and trucks will enter the building to unload. Municipal solid waste would move to source separation lines, and recycled materials would be removed both manually and with automation. Recyclables will be baled to be shipped off-site, and waste that cannot be recycled will be transferred to area landfills. And the key components of the project include the receiving building, which will be the new building where waste is unloaded and transferred to other sorting areas. The municipal solid waste building will sort recyclables with equipment and manually. The curbside municipal solid waste building is where recyclables are further sorted. The transfer loadout building is where non-recyclable waste is loaded for transport to landfills. The bale storage building is where recycled materials will be stored for off-site transfer. And here's a look at the site plan. Garfield's at the right, running north and south. Pedersen's in the middle, running east and west. And you can see that there will be a new entrance there on Pedersen with the 3 incoming lanes. There will be a cul-de-sac and plenty of room for queuing on site. This is a schematic of what the interior would look like. And then just a picture of some of the types of machinery that will do the sorting of the recyclable materials. An environmental impact report was prepared for this project and was adopted by the Planning Commission. The environmental impact report determined the project would not cause impacts that cannot be mitigated. The EIR determined that construction and operational emissions will be below South Coast Air Quality Management District thresholds. Looking at hazardous materials, the facility will not accept any hazardous materials. Looking at traffic, operating at the anticipated tons per day, there will be a net increase of 935 daily trips. The environmental impact report also looked at the traffic level of service. Level of service describes congestion during AM and PM peak periods. Level A represents free flow traffic conditions, and level F represents oversaturated conditions. Mitigation measures will take place at southbound Garfield and Pedersen and this will include restriping southbound Garfield to include a new third traffic lane. Mitigation measures at the northbound intersection of Garfield and Rosecrans will include a dedicated right turn to eastbound Rosecrans. Mitigation measures to control vectors will include a prohibition of outdoor storage of waste and regular vector control inspections. Measures to address noise will include conducting all activities indoors and truck engines to be turned off during loading and unloading. And we are recommending approval of resolution number PC 22003, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
I do have a couple questions. This is a new location, correct?
Yes.
That they're going to be using.
Yes.
So we don't know noise control. We have no idea what's going to happen once they start fully operating, right?
Well, the environmental impact report looked at noise, and all of the activities will be conducted inside the building. So loading, unloading, all the transferring of the materials, everything will be enclosed, will take
Is
place.
it soundproof? Will it be, I mean...
Well, no, the metal building is not soundproof. You do have the Edison easement to the west and then the DWP easement to the north. So you have room in between residential by those two easements.
How close are those residential?
The residential to the north, it's probably 500 feet, and I would say about the same going to the west. I would say approximately 500 feet.
How about smell? Because obviously it's waste, so it's going to probably start smelling around there, right?
So they, so the waste that has to go to the landfill has to be taken out within 48 hours, and there are misters that will be installed inside the building that have a deodorizing effect on the material inside the buildings. And again, nothing would be stored outdoors. Everything would be indoors. So that's the measure to control odor.
But it is a warehouse, so usually have the,
Sure.
The big garage doors, and so, I mean,
Yep.
it gets pretty hot in there, I'm sure.
Yeah. So trucks would be coming in and out. That's
Yeah.
correct.
If I approve it, I think I would put a condition on that, just because I'm not sure how it's going to impact the residents there nearby, because it's only 500 feet. It's not that far. So,
I have a question, or I guess comment. They're operating right now currently across the street in open air, right?
Yes, they are doing the sorting is outdoors, in like a 3-sided building with a roof.
Oh, it does have a roof.
Yes.
Would the new building help control some of the odor that Ms. Bostita is concerned about?
Well, the
comparison to what that they have now.
Right. So the new building, nothing would be open to the air, as opposed to how they are operating right now. The one side is completely open.
Okay, so we're going from worse to better.
I just want to make sure that the residents are okay with this.
Sure.
One other question that I have is the traffic. When they coming in from the freeway into Garfield Avenue, is there going to be another lane coming into Peterson Lane?
Right. So going south on Garfield, there'll be.
But there's no the one coming off the freeway. There's only going to be 2 lanes, right?
That's right. The third lane going south on Garfield will start about 100 feet from Pedersen Lane. So that third lane will be a turn lane and also a through lane for trucks.
It might cause traffic.
Coming into from
Right.
the freeway.
And then trucks leaving the site, only trucks that are trash trucks that are servicing Paramount residents can exit and go north. Everybody else has to exit and go south down to Rosecrans.
Into Rosecrans. Okay.
Right.
Because how many cities are involved?
I'm sorry.
How many cities are involved in this?
The applicants of the audience, they would be able to answer that question. If you want to come up to the podium. if you could turn the mic on for us. Thank you.
Good evening. My name is Gary Clifford. I'm the Executive Vice President of Athens Services, and with me is
Bill Kalpikoff, General Manager of CalMet Services.
And what we're trying to do is fix this situation. We made this asset purchase from CalMet, and as you know, this COVID in the last few years have been difficult for businesses to do, especially construction projects. It's our intent, once this is, if it's approved, that we move forward with CalMet in servicing its current customers. And actually, there's an open air MRF on one side of the street, moving that across the street to have a closed air and have a better situation. I've left behind kind of a leaflet for you to look at. We've built 3 or 4 of these regionally. They're great regional benefits. They actually clean up the area quite a bit. They are, I want to answer the question about air. They have charcoal scrubbing activated things that actually clean the air, and they're negative air. So when you open the doors, the air goes in. There's misters that indicate that. The air goes into the building, not out. And then the air that's in the building is treated by this special system that actually activates charcoal and scrubs the air. It doesn't return it outside until it's cleaned and better. And I think that what we're asking the city to do and the Planning Commission to consider tonight is to allow us to complete this purchase of CalMet services and then to move forward with the plans to do that, which are all within the current EIR that has been that you voted on before, and nothing will be outside of the scope of that. So the residents will be that have already been noticed will be protected on both sides, and it's my personal and professional opinion that this will actually beautify that area and clean it up and bring that activity indoors over time versus what's currently happening there now. Did I miss anything, sir?
No, other than what he said.
Current service of the cities.
Well, the cities that we service right now, of course, are Paramount. We do Downey. We do City of Cerritos, Lomita, and Commerce. They will probably be used at this facility. To answer your question about the doors and the odor, which you said was reversed air, once the doors open, the trucks go in, they will close. So there's no constant movement and noise, and I think this is going to be pretty well a soundproof building. We've had many scoping meetings with the residents and the business in the city around the neighborhoods over there, and we've had nothing but satisfactory remarks. They're all for it because it is an area that it's an eyesore and needs to be cleaned up. And I think with Athens, they're our partners. They're a locally family-owned business such as us. We just had one of our partners. He's 87 years old, and it was time for him to kind of move on, and we were looking for a partner that would continue with our philosophy. And Athens is them. The Arcalians I've pretty much known all my life, so I have a lot of respect for him and a lot of respect for Gary. I'm going to be on board. I'm going to stay with the company, so it is my goal to make sure our plans, and I've been working on this for a long time, I want to see the fruition, I want to see it done, and I think we will make it happen, and we appreciate your support tonight. Thank you.
And Commissioner Bautista, I sent a link to the commissioner, the Public Works or the Planning Director to show you the MRF that we just built, and it actually is a LEED certified building that has solar on the roof, and it actually improved the environment where we have 6 MRFs and 3 of them are in residential areas, one in Avocado Heights of the Los Angeles County, one in Los Angeles right in Sun Valley, and they really improve that current activity. And I would be more than happy to take you on a tour of the Sun Valley MRF. You could watch the video also just to see how it improves. And you can actually watch the air. Once the door comes on, there's misters. It actually, by design, it has to go in, and that's how we monitor it all the time. So it really will have, believe it or not, a positive impact on the waste and recycling activities that are currently happening for the residents. And it's also kind of a regional job thing. There's going to be more jobs available and some good things that'll happen there too.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Any other questions here?
I still want to put a condition on it, if that's okay. If we do approve it. Just to make sure that there's no complaining with the residents. If there's nothing, then, I mean, obviously, like maybe, 6 months? Obviously, it's going to be new.
Right. So we could definitely bring it back 6 months after it has been operating. Sure. That will be a little while because they have to do all the improvements. So you won't see this in 6 months. You'll see it
In a year.
a year and 6 months. Yes. Right.
Okay. Yeah, that's fine. So I'll approve it.
I did have one comment that we received in with some concerns. I'd just like to read into the record. Okay.
Sure.
And this is from Wes Cleaver. We have a few concerns regarding the permit number 721. We have been the owners for 2 years at the property mentioned above, which is 7314 Pedersen Lane. We have two parking spaces in front of our building to park in. In the last 2 years, we have not been able to park once in front of our own building. This is because the city trash dump uses these parking spaces. The employees are there early and take up the majority of the street parking. Also, by 8:30 a.m., there is no parking on the whole street. So our objection would be if you are adding a new building and extensive reconstruction. Number one, where will all the work vehicles park? Seeing there is no current room available for parking on the street now. Who will enforce the vehicles to be moved if parking is on the proposed extension's property and they do not adhere to the proposed parking on their property? If a new building is built, how many new employees will this add and where will they park? We see some designated parking on the new proposed extensions, but will this be enough to accommodate all new or current employees? And that is the conclusion of that.
So are they talking about like the street, like where they're utilizing the street for their business? Is that what's going on?
It seems like that is what this person is claiming.
Yeah.
Right.
Peterson Lane.
For parking.
Yeah, like so the residents are trying to use it, and obviously it's being used by the business, correct?
I think it's there's only businesses on that street, so I think it's other businesses that aren't able to park on the street because they seem to be suggesting that CalMet employees are parking on the street.
Can you gentlemen
I guess
clarify
can you guys
that?
elaborate on that? Is there going to be any parking for the employees?
Is that Restoration, the company that?
It just gives the address 73.
I think that's what it is. But no, to answer your question, it's a combination. We do have some PR&R employees, CalMet employees that use our street, but not that many of them. Once we build a new MRF, there will be no employee parking on the street at all. We have plenty of parking available for them on the Edison right-of-way, and that's where it's all going to be. So no employee parking on Peterson Lane, because we're going to own half that street anyway. It's going to be part of our property, and that's going to be used for our queuing, the ingress and access for our trucks. So all employee parking will be off the public street.
Okay.
So that will be where the trucks will be coming in, right?
Yes, they'll be coming, yeah, because we'll have, there'll be 4 lanes there, I believe. But there will be parking on street for the businesses. Really, you have 3 businesses before you get to Garfield on Peterson Lane, and they'll have their own parking. So that'll be available for them.
I do have a question. So are the employees currently parking on the street?
There's a few employees that do. We have plenty. We have probably 8 acres on the Edison right-of-way that is for employee parkings. Some of the employees do park there for just the convenience, but it's not all PR&R or CalMet employees. It's a combination of the businesses that are also on the street. Okay.
Thank you. All right. Well, John, do we have any other comments?
No, that was it, sir.
Okay, any other comments from our commissioners here? Okay, let's, we need a motion then to close the public hearing portion of this.
I motion to close.
I'll second it.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Commissioner Batista?
Yes.
Commissioner Esparza?
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez?
Yes.
Chair Weisenberger?
Yes. Okay, now we need a motion then to adopt this Planning Commission resolution number 22003, approving this request.
I approve with the condition, a year and a half to just look into it, just to make sure that there's no smell or noise and anything like that.
I will second the Ms. Bautista's request with the, I believe your initial amount was the 6 month.
Yeah,
back
but
right after the building is complete.
Mhm.
So whatever time frame it's complete, 6 months after that for a review.
6 months.
After operation start, yes.
After operation.
Okay, we have it's been moved and seconded, so
Okay.
let's have a roll call.
Commissioner Batista?
yes.
Commissioner Esparza?
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez?
Yes.
Chair Weisenberger?
Yes.
John, what'd you get, Ernie? John, what'd you get, Ernie?
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. Okay, good night.
Thank you.
Okay, now we move to agenda item number 7. This is a conditional use permit number 914. This is a request by Moriscos Peri-Sushi, number 2, doing business as El Peri-Sushi, to expand their existing 1,208 square foot restaurant into 5,130 square foot restaurant with indoor customer seating at 16600 Paramount Boulevard in the general commercial zone. Okay, staff report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair and Commissioners. This is a conditional use permit, a request to expand an existing restaurant that is located in a retail center at the corner of Paramount Boulevard and Harrison Street. And Associate Planner Ivan Reyes will present this item to you.
Thank you, John. Honorable Chair, members of the Commission, I'm here to present conditional use permit number 914. The applicant is requesting to expand an existing 1,208 square foot restaurant into a 5,130 square foot restaurant. It is located at 16600 Paramount Boulevard. It is in the C3 General Commercial Zone. The site is located within the Central Business District. El Peri-Sushi is a family-owned business and has been operating since 2013. They serve traditional Mexican seafood such as shrimp tacos, seafood ceviche, and a variety of sushi dishes. The owners of this business also own and operate Mariscos El Peri-Sushi, which is the adjacent restaurant to El Peri-Sushi. The proposed expansion will occupy the former coin laundry tenant space. And here's a picture of the storefront of the existing restaurant. The restaurant currently has 4 employees. However, depending on the demand, they could possibly add up to 9 employees. The hours of operation are 9 a.m. to 11 p.m. daily. They are proposing to have 42 indoor customer seats. There are no sale or consumption of alcoholic beverages being proposed at this time. El Peri-Sushi is located on the southeast corner of Paramount Boulevard and Harrison Street. El Peri-Sushi is highlighted in blue, and the proposed restaurant expansion is to the north of the existing tenant space. Mariscos El Peri-Sushi is located to the west of El Peri-Sushi. There are 52 parking spaces in total on site, which meets the parking requirement for both restaurants. These are the existing and proposed floor plans. On the right, it shows the current conditions of the restaurant highlighted in blue. The remaining square footage is on the former laundromat. The new customer seating will be 2,381 square feet. A 1,541 square foot storage area is being proposed and will be used by both restaurants. It will also have a new conference room and an office. There are no additions being proposed to expand the building footprint. The existing restaurant will now be used as the kitchen area. And here's some concept images of how the restaurant could look like once it's done. You can see it's really modern and sophisticated, and the decor will be totally brand new. Here's the existing picture of the conditions outside and the former coin laundry. And here's some concept images of what it could look like once the expansion is completed. Again, no modifications will be done to the outside except for the signs, which will be processed as a different permit when they do come in to pull their permits for their signs. And for the analysis, the proposed business is located in an appropriate zone The location is adequate in size and sufficient parking will be provided. As part of the conditions of approval, the sale of alcoholic beverages is prohibited unless a conditional use permit is reviewed and approved by the planning department. Exterior building and site features, including landscaping, will be refurbished at the direction of the planning department. And for the recommendation the staff recommendation is to adopt resolution number PC 22004 for conditional use permit number 914, with the added condition that customer patrons and visitors are prohibited from loitering in the parking lot and adjacent neighborhoods. This concludes my presentation. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Questions here?
No.
Okay, all right, let's open the public hearing portion. John, do we have any comments tonight?
Yes, we do. One email that I'll read, and then in favor, and then one person who would like to be called in, who's in opposition. So this is from Rick Murga at 16610 Eureka Avenue in Paramount. I support the expansion of the existing restaurant. I think it is a welcoming enhancement to the area. I would only ask that city officials plan for enough parking for patrons, have enough lighting for safety in the evenings, and to take into consideration certain beautification factors like landscaping of the property. And then John King will call the person who would like to also speak.
Okay. Give me just one moment. $3,000. Hello, Mr. Eichert. This is John King from the city. And hello, I'm here this evening with the Planning Commission. We understand you would like to provide comments, so you have 3 minutes to do so, starting now.
Okay. My issue is that parking. We have parking problems there on Harrison and Paramount Boulevard and whatever. And this restaurant does not provide parking for their employees. They make their employees park on the street so that they can have parking for the customers. And I think this restaurant, if they're going to expand it, they need to arrange to get parking for for their employees. We had that same issue with the car wash across the street. They were supposed to, in their approval to expand, they were supposed to have parking on site for their employees. They all park in the street too. And it's just a big problem for the whole thing that there's just no parking and nobody looks into it. The city, unfortunately, has not been had code enforcement out there to take care of, illegally parked people or people that park too long. So basically what I'd like to do is, before you get approval of this, is to have that restaurant, before they add more employees and more spaces, to have them provide adequate parking for their employees. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. So I wish I hope the city would consider that require them to go find some parking for their employees somewhere other than on the street. So, because some of their employees park way down at Georgia or Orizaba, and it's just inconvenient for people who live there. Then I have the barn there right on the corner of Harrison and California at 16457. I've got 40 cars, but you never see any of my cars parked on the street. So I've always arranged to have my cars inside or in the yard. So that's kind of it in a nutshell. We need to address the parking situation there for that area. So now the other issue too is the people that park on the street, they throw all their trash and everything either up against my building in the parkway. I found broken glass and everything this morning when I went out. And, they're just pigs. and it just creates an issue for people that are there trying to keep that part of the neighborhood up. So I don't really have much more to say. I just like to have the city address parking issues in that area. Okay?
Okay, thank you, Mr. Eckert. Take care.
Okay, thank you,
Goodbye.
sir. Bye-bye.
What did he mention about 40 vehicles? He has 40 vehicles? Who was the person that called him?
He has them inside.
Well, is he a business?
Yeah, who is he?
He he's got he calls it a barn. It's a metal building. I think it's just a hobby. He's got 40 cars inside that building.
It's a building.
Yeah. Yes.
Behind the car wash.
Does he want to loan off his space so that they can?
I doubt it.
That's what they use in the parade.
Oh, is
Yes,
it?
right.
Oh.
Ernie.
That
Yes.
was Mr. Riker? That was Mr. Riker.
Oh, okay. The one that has the business that rents out the
Right,
the cars. Okay.
It's right behind Ben's car wash, right? On that.
Right. That's right.
Does he
So
store
they
all of
park-
them there? Because I know he has
No, they're all in there.
they're all in there. I thought he had multiple
Jeez.
locations.
I was gonna ask him if he has any suggestions because I was.
Well, you could add a condition that employees have to park on site, not on the streets.
It's very small. I've been there, and obviously I know why they do it. There's not enough parking for their customers, and then an additional. So it is going to be a problem if we do approve this. I mean, not that it is our business because obviously it's going to raise more concern, but I don't know.
Yeah, because they're parking on the street, you see.
And the laundromat right now doesn't have really any employees. Now they're going to have a lot more employees.
So how many?
Oh, that's a tough one.
How many parking does the restaurant
I think they said
have?
52, right? There's 52 parking spots?
Yeah, there's 52 parking spaces on site.
52,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, 52.
So that's for the original restaurant that's up in the front of the property, and then the small.
Well, now it's going to be for all of it.
Yeah, now it's going to be for all of it. Yeah.
And if
you're
they expand it,
and you're
that's-
going from 1,200 square feet restaurant to 5,100 square foot, and then not going to be any additional parking.
I don't know what to do.
The other restaurant takes
Mm-hmm.
parking. Yeah, they have their own parking.
I don't even know if it's possible for them to provide parking for all of their employees.
Or the customers.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's only 50.
Yeah, if it's true,
For the
that's
residents.
I'm actually surprised they're expanding in the same.
I don't know. I
Do we
mean,
know if there's a time limit of parking on this public street? Or is there like a 2-hour limit?
I don't know. I don't think so though.
No?
Not on
Okay.
the Harrison.
is there an empty lot that
just to
they can
jump in.
purchase around there? I mean, to fix that problem where they can at least walk to the site? Like, this is where the employees can park or something?
There's city parking across the street.
Is there?
Right here, right here.
Uh,
Right here.
Huh.
Kind of.
yeah. Vacant lots. John, do you know? Is there anything out there? I don't think there is.
No, well, there is the lot owned by the
Medical building.
formerly owned by the Zamboni family, I believe, behind the furniture store. I'm not sure. Oh, that's leased by the medical office. But I do have an answer about the California Avenue is permit parking on Mr. Eichard Street.
It is
his
permit
block.
parking on
Well, it is
California.
permit parking,
That is permit parking only.
just not on Harrison.
No.
Oh,
Oh.
California, because Georgia's not, and I know Virginia's not, and all the other streets are not. So just California.
California.
So right now, is the barn, is he a concerned neighbor? Does he live there in the barn? No.
Maybe John
I don't know
Carpenter
if
on
he
that.
lives there.
So right now, no residents are opposing.
It's just him.
It's a business that's opposing another business.
I guess you could.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm wondering if we could probably do a provision where, because I don't think it's possible to have everything, but maybe have 50% of the staff have parking on site.
No. That they can't. They shouldn't park there. I mean, there's not enough. But I mean,
See, what he's saying is they're already parking there.
they already do
No,
it.
I'm saying 50%
Throwing
to
their
park
trash.
on site, meaning like in the commercial center. Because right now none of them are parking because they're trying to leave the parking for customers. So I'm wondering if we can do something midway.
I mean, I don't know.
Because right now they said they're only proposing 2 employees, but they could possibly get 9. But that's not counting the restaurant. How many employees do they have at the restaurant? There's probably at least 10 there, right?
They said 4 employees, and then it was going to double to 8 possibly, depending on the business, right? That's what I was
I also want to, the applicant informed me that some of their employees do rely on public transit. There's bus stops along Paramount Boulevard that do accommodate for that. Not too sure how many do rely on that, but they do have that option that some of them do take public transit.
Okay. I think the only solution here is to propose that they have at least a certain number of employees park on site, right? Or an exclusive area for employee parking?
I think exclusive. I mean, they'll have to figure it out how they can. I mean, to me, I think they need to figure out how they can make sure that everybody is in a space. That way, the neighbors and there's no complaints.
The restaurant that's right next to it on Paramount Boulevard, how many parkings do they have?
Which one? The Mariscos one? The
El Peri-Sushi?
It's all combined. It's like
Yes.
one parking. Yeah, so.
Same corner, yeah. And there's 52 spots.
Do you have an aerial slide? I think you showed one.
Yeah.
I do. There's actually a site plan
Yeah, there's right here.
on the folder. The parking analysis does, based on the seating, for both restaurants, it does accommodate to have both restaurants with the amount of seating that they're proposing. That's including the
There's no
expansion of
way.
El Peri-Sushi.
And
It'll
there's
be
how many-
46, I believe it was 46 required, and there's 52 parking spaces.
Yeah,
on
but that's
site.
for one place. I mean,
That's including both,
both restaurants.
That
for
would
both
be
restaurants.
for both.
I guess,
there's no
yeah.
way.
is it possible to require them to use a certain area for the employees so that they're not all parking on the street?
It's,
Have you done that before? Does that sound feasible?
Yeah. Certainly a condition that you can.
Like I'm looking at the 6 or 8 parkings that are on the back wall against in the corner. Maybe they can designate that for employees.
Sure.
Delegate.
It would be up to you to.
Yeah.
John, how does that work with other companies? I mean, I haven't
Yeah.
been around long enough to know how the company thing works. Is it accepted that a business has their employees park on the street?
No.
Or do they usually
The code,
provide parking?
the municipal code, the zoning code is designed to for parking. It takes into consideration employees and customers. So
It'd be
it should be sufficient on site for employees and customers.
So for these two restaurants that we just spoke about, Ivan said that they're supposed to have 46 and by law, and they have 52. So that should technically be enough for all their employees for both restaurants and the customers. Okay, but right now, with just the one restaurant and the smaller version of the second, it's not enough, apparently.
According to
one
the
opposition.
person that called in.
That's what Mr. Hyde.
Yeah.
Are there any other complaints by any other residents?
Be very honest,
No.
I'm not
Oh,
joking. I've seen horses park. People come in horses and do it right there at Mariscos. I saw one time 4 horses. Guys with on horses. They got off and went into the restaurant, put their horses right there. I'm not kidding you. I saw that.
Horses made a mess.
Yeah.
Made a big mess.
That's what Mr.
So sorry.
No, but anyway.
All right, so it looks like they have enough parking. Should we put in a?
I don't
Do
think
we
they have
approve
enough
it? Do we put in a
parking.
provision for the parking?
Yeah, I think we should put some type of provision for parking.
Well, it is causing a problem already, but it's going to cause more of a problem, honestly.
Is
Well, there's
there
sufficient parking? We can put a provision.
is
that
there a
the
public
employees have
safety
to park on
report?
site.
John,
Okay,
do we
I
have
guess we can do
anything?
that.
Sorry, guys.
I guess anybody want a motion to?
And then if some of the customers have to park on the street, at least it's just for a half hour or 45 minutes while they're eating, and then they
Not
go
the whole employees.
instead of having a whole 8-hour shift for the employee.
Yeah.
Park on the
As from a business perspective, I understand that that's difficult though, because myself being a business owner, it's difficult to have your customers park somewhere else. If it's inconvenient to them, they're gonna go somewhere else.
That's what the
That's
whole problem is with a lot of the restaurants. They
Yeah.
have to park on the street and go into the restaurant.
Well, there's not enough space. I mean, anywhere, honestly. Paramount is little. No, Paramount doesn't have anything.
It's like Casa Camino. Remember the one we had not too long ago? This was the same thing. There's parking. Some of them, Casa Camino, they park at Gus's place. You know.
Or the church, yeah, the
Does-
church park, yeah.
Do we have anyone that confirmed that employees are parking in the streets and loitering, or not loitering, but causing littering and
No.
broken glass? So there's no report from public safety or anything.
No.
So the person that called in this complaint of parking is someone that owns a business right across the street from them. So there's no residents that came and said, hey, they're taking over all my parking. There's, on the housing that's nearby or apartments.
Yeah, no.
So we're arguing over someone that made in a report that there's no proof. So,
Well, he says they're leaving a mess and stuff like that. So I think
where's
that
the report? Yeah, it's verbal, right? But is there anything written where the city had to come in and do any cleanup, or public safety came out because it was broken glass? Is there any ticketing involved from public safety, or are we just going off one person saying, hey, this is what I'm seeing? But I don't live here, by the way. But I'm seeing this in my property and a building and a barn.
Did we notify some of the residents around there?
Yeah, no, everybody that owns property or that lives or owns a business within 500 feet was notified of the hearing.
Right.
So can we just tell make sure that the employees have to park inside and then figure out where the customers have to park, I guess?
John, did you say that as part of the municipal code that the employees are supposed to park on the property of the restaurants?
No, I don't know that it states that.
No,
but,
it's not on the code.
No, but the intent of the parking requirement is to provide sufficient parking for customers and employees.
So it wouldn't be reasonable for us to really put that in there, huh?
When you say reasonable, what does that mean? You mean in relation to how other businesses are?
Well, yeah. I mean, is it expected in the business community, in the business world, that you provide parking for your employees, or is it reasonable to just expect them to park on the street?
No, it's not. No, because again, the intent of the parking requirement in the code is to provide sufficient parking on site for your employees and your customers, not that they would have to park on the street.
So it would not be unreasonable.
So if the maybe unscrupulous business owner comes up and says, okay, I want our business is booming, we want all our employees to park on the street now, and that'll provide more spaces for our customers, and we can make more money. That's not really against the law, but it may be unethical, huh?
Sure.
Right. And they wouldn't,
And there's nobody really to call them on it either. There?
I don't think there's an enforcement mechanism for that.
It would have to be an employee that would come up.
Yeah.
I mean, like I said, it's kind of a scout honor type of thing. Unless we put it in the provision and kind of make them aware, hey, there's an issue here. Try to have your employees park.
Yeah, I think that's
Yeah, I guess.
employees.
Try to have them all park, but a bare minimum of 50% of the employees park on site.
Or both of the restaurants work together with the 50-some.
Oh, they're same owned.
With the same.
Yeah, the same owner. Yeah.
So it's the same owner.
So, Mr. Chair, if I can suggest something?
Yes, please.
Okay. I think the main issue that you have right now that you want to determine is there a consensus of the commission to have employee on-site parking?
Yes.
Percentage of it? All of
I
them?
think there is, at least a percentage.
Okay. Is there a consensus for a percentage?
Sure.
Or for all?
How many employees are there total?
There's gonna be more. I mean,
there's only
really,
two. There's
you
gonna be
don't
more.
know.
But how many employees are there for Peri-Sushi?
Currently, there's 4.
4.
But you say it could go as many as 9, right?
It could go as many, depending on the success of their business. Yeah.
Is this for the new permit or the existing permit for the existing business?
That's just for the new one.
Yep.
Yeah.
How many employees are there at the existing business?
We don't know.
For El Peri-Sushi is only 4.
Not
No,
Peri-Sushi.
Oh,
Mariscos.
Peri-Sushi, I don't have those numbers with
They
me.
share the parking lot. That's what I'm asking.
Yes, that's why. But you're
So
not gonna know
I'm
that.
assuming they have at least 8.
At least.
At least. It's
Probably
not
more than that. The cooks.
So let's say they had 8. Are you suggesting 50%?
Is it
Or 100%?
52? I would say at least a provision to have at least like 10 parking spaces for employees for both businesses.
Okay. 10 spaces?
Designated spaces. Yeah, I was just looking at.
So they have to put staff parking? Is that what they're gonna put? Like they have to put
Right.
staff parking?
I think you don't want to get too much in the weeds of how they do it.
Yeah,
I
just
think
put
your
the-
condition more is, look, as a condition of approval for this, you have to provide X amount of parking spaces for your employees or X percentage of parking spaces for employees, whatever you want.
Yeah.
Let them figure out the details.
Yeah.
Okay.
And hopefully.
And if they don't, what are we like taking away their business? I mean, what is really?
Well,
I mean,
if-
after they
if
go
they
into
don't-
business,
If they don't, and an employee complains and says they're not allowing me to park there, that's a condition of approval they breached.
Yeah.
Right.
so you can ask them to close.
No,
Just ask them to cure the
you
breach.
you can possibly go as far as revoking the CUP.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah. Okay, that's fine.
But you see, they only have 4 employees right now.
It's gonna change.
Well, I just counted 12 parking spaces in that corner in the back. So I mean, it's up to them how they do it. But yeah, I mean, we can. There's plenty. There's an area where they can. The employees are going to get there before they open. They can utilize that parking space in that southeast corner. of
Like the
parking
little
lot.
cul-de-sac, like the little.
The southeast
net,
corner, yeah,
yeah.
right there. That little.
That little.
Because obviously, employees are going to want to. I mean, customers are going to.
He said that's not a good idea.
What happened?
Okay, let's just say that 50% must park inside. I think that's a good approval.
50% of employees.
Yeah.
I say 50 at least.
Is that a consensus?
Oh, I don't know.
I would say so. At least. They just put the wording at least 50%.
No.
No, you have to have a number
Yeah, have a
to
number.
make them accountable.
Well, don't
They can
forget,
do more.
50% can change. If they have 4 employees now, 50% would be 2. If they have 8 later on, it would be 4.
Right.
So that percentage will change with the number that they get.
I would say 50 myself.
Yeah.
Or 8. What do you guys want to do? 80?
I would say 50.
Look, I'm trying to give you some help here.
Yeah, 50 sounds fine. 'Cause I mean, you also.
Say 50% of 4 employees. That's going to have very little impact.
But I doubt it's 4 employees. That's the reason why.
This is such a
they're having that
problem,
issue.
yeah.
We can only put the condition on the new business, not the existing one.
Ooh, that's true.
Isn't that right?
Well, then all. Then I actually would change it. I would change it to all employees must park inside.
Yeah, because this
This is already
CUP
causing a
only
problem, yeah.
applies to this.
Yes.
Yeah, then
There's,
yeah,
and there's
all.
no parking requirement or restriction at all and that's the one that has the majority of the employees. So I agree.
So it
all
would apply
employees
to
must
this
park on
business
site.
Yeah, I
Yes,
say that
for the
then.
new one. I agree. All.
All, yeah.
That's a good
I
point.
agree.
All right.
And I got a question for everyone. So if we're gonna require 4 employees to park in the parking, is there gonna be a problem if the customers park in the street?
No, they're
take
only going to
over
be there for 2
parking?
hours, we said.
They're in and out.
Okay.
Well, the residents may not like it.
Well, I
Just
don't
like
I
they
don't
don't
think
like-
any residents were complaining that they're parking on their streets. I think it's
Yeah, I
I
just,
think it
yeah.
was one person that
All
was
right,
I think
complaining.
Yeah, I think
So
that's fine.
I don't.
If their business increases,
Yeah, especially
and
'cause-
it's going to be
yeah, especially because they're sharing the parking lot with their existing business and there's no
the way
conditional.
they're setting it up now.
Yeah, there's no limit onto their existing business. I think that's fine.
Huh?
What do we do to try to head that off?
Right, because the way they're putting all that money into that restaurant, let me tell you. You saw the pictures of
Do we have a motion?
John,
Yeah,
I got a question. If they're putting a lot of money into this, obviously, to make this second restaurant, a successful venture. If their business does improve and they start having more customers with parking problems, I mean, what do we do in that case? I guess cross that bridge when we get there.
Well, it seems like you're leaning toward 100% employee.
I would say
I'm just asking a question.
I-
I'm just asking a question.
Yeah. I would say I would set a motion to include all
Yeah.
employees to park on site because that's only for the new business because the existing one already has
No
X amount of
restrictions,
employees
yeah.
with no restrictions.
Yeah.
100%
100% on the new business
for the employees.
for the employees.
Somebody want to make a motion?
Sure. I motion to make sure that all employees park inside.
Yeah, I second that motion.
Okay, let's have a vote.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Abrego,
Yes.
Commissioner Batista,
Yes.
Commissioner Esparza,
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez,
Yes.
Chair Weisenberger.
Yes.
It's crazy.
For your direction, gentlemen, on that one.
No problem.
I think that was a good idea.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay, item number 8, conditional use permit number 915. A request by El Tapatio Restaurant and Grill LLC for outdoor seating when the equivalent number of indoor seating in an existing restaurant is closed at 7528 Rosecrans Avenue, Suite B, in the planned development with performance standards zone.
Sorry, I think we got to do roll call on the last one. We didn't do roll call.
We did.
We did? Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Never mind. Moving on.
Okay, staff report.
Okay, yes, yes, sir. So
That was a long one. Yeah.
another restaurant to consider, but this one's already existing, and John King will give you the details of what they're requesting.
Thank you, John. We'll breeze through this one, I'm sure. And this one is, and thank you. I'm sorry, commissioners. This is at the southeast corner of Rosecrans and Garfield within the Farmers Market Plaza. And again, CUP for outdoor seating when the equivalent number of indoor seating is closed. So really no net gain in seating. It's just the basically legalizing the outdoor. And again, the PDPS zone. This zone allows for retail, commercial. It's slightly more limited than a traditional general commercial zone. A few things like no churches, I believe, no auto body, or no auto repair. So strictly commercial retail. Well, the plaza was developed in the late 1980s, and this applicant operates a family-owned restaurant. They've been there since 2020. However, that site, it's been a restaurant since the early 1990s. So a few have come and gone, and this is the current. They're open Monday to Sunday, 8 to 6. They have 4 employees, and they've shifted to outdoor dining since the COVID-19 pandemic began. They closed the kitchen. They closed the indoor area. They were actually, the city does have the Paramount Al Fresco program, which was a city program put into place by the city to kind of help businesses out, to streamline approvals. While traditionally, like this, we require a conditional use permit for a restaurant to have outdoor dining. It's obviously special circumstances with the pandemic, so the city council adopted this program to kind of move things along, to bypass that conditional use permit process for the time being, just for the time of this health crisis. So this business took advantage of it. Thing is, they actually didn't submit a full application. That kind of got set aside. So they're here just making everything right. It's more a procedural approval or process here, or your consideration. Here it is at intersection of Rosecrans and Garfield. The property is outlined in red, and within this blue circle is the outdoor area. And the restaurant is just to the north of it. Here's a bit of a floor plan of that outdoor area. They have 6 picnic-style benches. Each of those seat 4 people comfortably, and there are 4 tables aligning the restaurant. Here's how it looks. So comfortable, kind of festive. And we recommend approval. Again, it's no net gain. If down the road the applicant decides to do, they would like to have indoor and outdoor, then we would have a little more review, parking analysis, and bring it back. But for now, they just want to switch everything to outdoor. And if you have any questions, let me know.
Questions here? Okay, let's open the public hearing portion. John, have we had any comments?
No comments.
Okay, and we need a motion to close the public hearing portion.
Sure. I'll make a motion to close the public hearing.
I'll second. Commissioner Abrego.
Okay. Commissioner Abrego?
Yes.
Commissioner Batista?
Yes.
Commissioner Esparza?
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez?
Yes.
Chair Weisenberger?
Yes. Okay, we need a motion then to adopt Planning Commission Resolution Number 22005, approving this request by El Tapatio Restaurant and Grill.
Commissioner Gutierrez, I'll go ahead and motion to approve.
I second.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Abrego?
Yes.
Commissioner Batista?
Yes.
Commissioner Esparza?
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez?
Yes.
Chair Weisenberger?
Yes. Agenda item number 9, resolution number PC 22006, a report finding that the acquisition of property at 16247 Vermont Avenue is in conformity with the Paramount General Plan.
Thank you. Mr. Chair and Commissioners, I'll go through this quick report with you. Okay, so this resolution is a finding that the purchase of 16247 Vermont Avenue is in conformity with the city's general plan. The site contains 11,250 square feet and has been vacant since 2009. The finding of conformity is required by the California Government Code before a property can be purchased by a city. The property will be purchased with Federal American Rescue Plan Act funds, and the site will be used for water facilities, either a new water well, a treatment facility, or a storage facility. And here's a look at the property. See, it's almost on the corner of Jackson and Vermont. It's outlined in green. And a look at the front of the property. And it's recommended that the Planning Commission adopt resolution number PC 22002, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions here? All right, then we need a motion then to adopt this resolution number 22006.
Commissioner Abrego, I make a motion we move to adopt resolution number 22006.
Commissioner Gutierrez, I'll go ahead and second the motion.
Roll call, please.
Commissioner Abrego?
Yes.
Commissioner Batista?
Yes.
Commissioner Esparza?
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez?
Yes.
Chair Weisenberger?
Yes. Okay, we're on item number 10, reports, city council actions.
Let's see. No, nothing to report from the last
To
meeting.
report today, okay. Comments from our city attorney?
No more comments from me.
No more, okay. Commissioners, any comments here?
Nope.
Nope, no more. Staff?
Yes, I do have one comment. I'd like to introduce a new employee. This is Johnny Reitmer. He started 3 or 4 weeks ago. He's our new building and safety manager. And Johnny has lived in Ontario for about 15 years and was raised in Pomona. In his free time, he likes to travel in his Sprinter camping van, taking his dog out for skateboard rides and spending time with his bestie, wife, and family. He previously worked as a senior building inspector for the City of Ontario for 5 years and 2 years as a contract building inspector for the cities of Laguna Niguel and Aliso Viejo. In his 25 years of experience in construction, half of them were spent as a licensed contractor, and Johnny is passionate about training up-and-coming building inspectors. So I'd like to have everybody welcome Johnny.
Welcome.
Johnny, welcome.
And that's it.
Okay, very good, thank you. In that case, we move to adjourn this meeting tonight and plan to meet on March 8th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Thank you.
I'd like to open Paramount Development Review Board meeting, February 8th, 2022. I'd like to call to order and get a roll call of members.
Board Member Batista?
Yes.
Board Member Esparza?
Yes, here.
Board Member Weisenberger?
Here.
Vice Chair Gutierrez? Chair Abrego?
Here. Okay, the minutes. Can we get approval for the minutes for December 16th, 2021?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of December 16th.
A second?
We have a first and a second. Roll call.
Board Member Batista?
Yes.
Board Member Esparza?
Yes.
Board Member Weisenberger?
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez?
Yes.
Chair Abrego?
Yes. Any public comments?
No public comments.
Okay, the new business, item number 2, DRA number 22002. A request by Alberto Fernandez Martinez to construct a 1,519 square foot second dwelling unit, demolish a 225 square foot existing garage, construct one 650 square foot 2-car garage, and construct one 525 square foot attached 2-car garage at 15137 San Jose Avenue in the R2 medium density residential zone.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Our planning intern, Cassandra, will give you the details on this case.
Thank you, John, and thank you, Chair Abrego and board members. As John mentioned, I will be presenting development review application number 22002 for proposed development at 15137 San Jose Avenue. The request is to construct a 1,519 square foot second dwelling unit, to demolish the existing 225 square foot garage, to construct one 650 square foot attached 2-car garage, and construct another 525 square foot attached 2-car garage. The location is 15137 San Jose Avenue in the R2 medium density residential zone. The lot is 8,611 square feet and is currently developed with a 1,204 square foot unit and a detached 225 square foot garage that is proposed for demolition. For some background on this project, on March 10th, 2015, the then Development Review Board approved DRA number 15004 to construct a second unit with 2 attached garages at the same property. Construction did not take place, so that approval expired, but the owners bring this application forward again as they again have interest in a second unit on their property. As you can see by the site plan now proposed and the site plan previously approved in 2015, the proposals are extremely similar. Looking at this aerial view of the subject site, you will see the property outlined in green. It is on the west side of San Jose Avenue and to the south of Somerset Boulevard in a residential area adjacent to Dominguez High School. This is what the property currently looks like. Here you can see the existing unit, any bit of the detached garage that will be demolished to the left of the picture. There are site improvements specified in the conditions of approval for this application, such as refurbishing the existing block walls and cleaning up debris or items that are laying around the property. Going back to the site plan shown earlier, you can see the location of the new unit in black. The attached garages are going to be in orange, and there are 2 guest parking spaces on either side of those attached garages. One garage will serve the new unit and the other will serve the existing unit. There is no interior access between the garages or the proposed unit, and there is adequate turning space to access both garages from the existing driveway. Here is the floor plan of the proposed 1,519 square foot unit and 2 attached garages. The ground floor is 727 square feet and will consist of a kitchen, dining area, living room, laundry area, and a half bath. The second floor is 791 square feet and will consist of 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms. These colored elevations can help better visualize what this 2-story unit will look like once it all comes together. There will be decorative trim around windows, decorative roll-up garage doors, and decorative outdoor lighting. The unit will also be built to match the existing home with the same color code and style of roofing that we see in the existing home and also in the surrounding homes in the neighborhood. With all of this in mind, the Planning Department recommends approval of Development Review Application number 22002, and that will be concluding my presentation. Thank you.
Thank you. Let's see here. Any questions? Or this is not, we don't need we need a motion, correct? To approve it? Is all we
Yes.
need done? Okay. Sorry, I've been gone for 2 months. I was kidding. All right.
I have a
Can I get
question. Is it residential? It's one unit? It's just one, they're just converting it from what it looks like to, or is it going to be like an apartment or?
It will be a single unit, so they have an existing unit in the front. Currently, the back of the yard is empty. It's just lawn right now. So the proposal is to construct that unit. That unit is not existing, so
it'd be an
it's all new
additional.
construction. Yeah, it's
Okay,
a
so it'd
second
be
unit.
second unit. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Any other questions? No. Can I get a motion to approve this applicant number 22002?
So moved.
We have a first.
Gutierrez, I'll second it.
We have a second. Roll call.
Board Member Batista?
Yes.
Board Member Esparza? Yes. Board Member Weisenberger?
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez?
Yes.
Chair Abrego?
Yes.
You need to comment on him?
Yeah, yes. So Chair Abrego has excused himself from this item due to a possible conflict of interest.
So we'll move along to item number 3, an extension to DRA number 15001, a request by Athens Services for CalMet Services for a 3-year extension to construct a 39,500 square foot metal building and remodel existing structures for the Royal Recycling and Transfer Material Recovery Facility at 14001 Garfield Avenue in the M2 Heavy Manufacturing Zone.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chair. This is the final item related to the recycling facility up on Pedersen Lane. And so this is actually a request for a 3-year extension. I believe in the report it says a 2-year extension, but it's for 3 years for this development review application. And this would allow for the construction of a 39,500 square foot metal building and the remodel of the existing structures. Again, here's a look at the property on Pedersen Lane to the west of Garfield. It's on the north side, the triangular property outlined in red. And here's a schematic of it. You can see Pedersen to the bottom there, Garfield at the top. And just to remind you what it currently looks like. And here's a rendering of the entrance to the site. So the project includes, again, the construction of a 39,500 square foot metal building and the complete refurbishment of the existing structures to include new metal panels where needed and new paint. Additionally, new roll-up doors will be installed throughout the existing structure. This is a look at the refurbished north side of the structure adjacent to the DWP easement. Site improvements will include a new main entrance and exit at the eastern end of the vacated Pedersen Lane. New landscaping will be installed throughout the site, and concrete block walls will also be constructed along Pedersen Lane. And it's recommended that you approve a 3-year extension, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
Any questions? Board members? Okay. And can we entertain a motion to approve?
No, I motion to approve.
I'll second it.
We got a first and a second.
Okay.
Roll call, please.
Board Member Batista?
Yes. Yes.
Yes. Board Member Esparza?
Yes.
Board Member Weisenberger?
Yes.
Vice Chair Gutierrez?
Yes.
John, do you want to get Mr. Abrego?
What's gonna? Yeah, there's only that in.
Okay. Any comments from board members? No. Any comments from staff?
No. No.
Okay, so we'll adjourn our meeting. For this next meeting will take place on March 8th, 2022 at 6 p.m. Next meeting, we open up the meeting for Paramount Economic Development Board. It's February 8th, and it's 8:07 p.m. Can I get a roll call of members?
Board Member Batista?
Yes.
Board Member Gutierrez?
Present.
Board Member Weisenberger?
Here.
Vice Chair Esparza?
Here.
Chair Abrego?
Here. Approval minutes for December 16th, 2021. Can I get approval and a second?
I approve. Motion to approve.
I'll second.
We have a first and a second. Roll call, please.
Board Member Batista,
Yes.
Board Member Gutierrez,
Yes.
Board Member Weisenberger,
Yes.
Vice Chair Esparza, Chair Abrego.
Yes. Any public comments?
No public comments.
Okay. New business? Any new business? Nothing on the list? Reports? Oral report?
Yes, John King will give you an oral report on the city's 2022 legislative platform.
John. Thank you, Chair Abrego and board members. This is a presentation that was given to the City Council recently, and it was put together. The legislative platform is an update to last year's initial legislative platform, and this was put together on the staff side by the assistant city manager and the senior management analyst. So you may remember probably 3 months ago they were here maybe 4 months ago to discuss water rates. So that's Andrew Villalpando and Anthony Martinez. January of last year, council adopted the first legislative platform, which gave a process streamlining the city's position on legislative matters and just making sure that everyone's on the same page for a variety of issues in terms of future legislation and how it affects the city of Paramount, state, federal, regional. Gives us direction and helps staff put together position papers and letters and guides the mayor when the mayor signs letters in opposition or in support of various matters. So here's kind of how it all happens. Sometimes we get position requests. Sometimes we initiate a request, and eventually the staff drafts a letter for the mayor's approval, and a copy is shared internally amongst the council members. And there's a mid-year review in June. Last year, the city council took positions on 19 legislative initiatives, and key topics were regarding broadband, housing, and organic waste. So there's some principles, probably first and foremost, preserving local control the best they can, and promoting fiscal stability. And here we are, economic development and funding opportunities. And I guess kind of that order. Well, so in a lot of cases, you don't have a choice. The state enacts something that may, like it or not, may erode some local control. So if that happens, well, at least we want the state to fund various. If they're imposing something new on a city, we would like some funding to implement it. So areas of focus. Here they are. A lot of areas. In yellow are the new areas that were inserted into this year's legislative platform: broadband and homeless outreach and prevention. And this ties in with the League of California Cities. And again, added focus on broadband and fighting and preventing homelessness, keeping people housed and getting people housed. And again, broadband, this talks about the bridging the digital divide. Ideally, there's some federal infrastructure bills that have passed, or some that may be close to passing, or maybe still have to get there. Whatever happens, we want the funds here. And homeless outreach, again. So next steps, so there's the city council did adopt the platform, and the staff and city council continued to draft the letters of support and not support to oppose certain legislation. And that's about it. Thank you.
Thanks, John.
Thank you.
All right. Any comments from our board members? Okay. Any comments from our staff?
No, sir.
Okay. Johnny, welcome. We have another John now, or Johnny, and John Marino.
Yeah.
Welcome to the city of Paramount. And our meeting is adjourned. Next meeting will be taking place on March 8th at 6 p.m. Thank you. Good night, everyone.